you are not the one who's on the driver's seat. Remember that. You are on the passenger seat.
Oh, wow.
Is the universe. And as soon as you accept that, you let go of control, things just happen for you.
It is often said that intuition is the highest level of intelligence. So, in that case, what does life really want from us? Does it want us to be on the path of conformity or really listen to our intuition? Well, as I get candid with Manpreet Bains, who is a spiritual mentor, guide, and a modern day yogini, she unravels and unlocks many facets to the idea, or should we call the sense called intuition. Mind, body, or soul. How to listen into it. Let's get started and unbound with Manpreet to find it all. हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अनबाउंड वेल ये तो बहुत बार आप लोगों ने सुना होगा और बहुत ऑफन कहा जाता है दैट लेट्स लिव अ कॉन्शियस लाइफ थोड़ा इंट्यूटिव डिसीजन मेकिंग लेते हैं और व्हाई डोंट यू लिसन टू योर इनर सेल्फ बट क्या ज़िंदगी में हम इसको फॉलो करते हैं डज इट रियली हैपन व्हेन इट कम्स टू डिसीजन मेकिंग डू वी रियली डू व्हाट वी वांट टू डू or mostly are we boxed in by the roles that society gives us? Where is the freedom? Have you ever thought? Who is your true self? What is your purpose? Or what is your design? Well, today on this show, I have someone who can decode all of this and so much more. She's a spiritual mentor, a guide, a torchbearer, but I'd like to call her a nonconformist, a dear friend, and my light when I go through those tunnels of darkness. Let's welcome Manpreet Bains, or I'd like to call Manu. Hi, Manu. Welcome to Unbound.
Hi, Mamta. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Absolutely. And we've been really looking forward to this show. I think it's been more than 4 months, right?
Yes. And the fact is that everything happens at the right time, right? So, yeah, here we are.
Here we are. So let's get started. Manu, tell us about this intrigue that you carry with yourself. What is really the purpose of life and design of life, and how have you really figured it out for yourself?
I remember as a kid asking, why are we here? Why am I here? What role am I here to play, right? I think your purpose is the answer. Why are you here in this world? And your purpose is not what you do, it's not your job, but how you live your life every second of the day, how you are present in your relationships, how you are there living your life every single day after day, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's as parents, whether it's as kids. The purpose gives you a sense of direction. And when you are aligned to your purpose, everything works out.
Wow, that does sound very whimsical. That'll be the ideal state. But where we are really struggling is how to do it, what to do. So tell us about your journey. What put you on this journey of discovery, and how did you do it?
I must say, I've been a very, very reluctant spiritualist, you can call, a very resistant spiritualist. I am a science student, very logical bent of mind. I used to question everything. For me, till the time I have not proven something to myself, I can't accept it, right?
Yeah.
But it's all thanks to my mom who introduced me to this magical world. My mother is my guru. She is the one who introduced me very, very reluctantly, because I was an extremely reluctant student, to Reiki. And then eventually I fell in love with my tarot cards. And slowly and steadily, as time passed, I think it was the universe which showed me how to live my life, how to go on this journey. You are not the one who's on the driver's seat. Remember that. You are on the passenger seat.
Oh, wow.
It's the universe. And as soon as you accept that, you let go of control, things just happen for you.
Wow. Easier said though, because I think mostly we all are in that fight, यू नो कि ये मुझे करना है, ये मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, अगर मैं नहीं करूँगा तो कौन करेगा? सो वेयर डज दिस कॉन्शियसनेस रियली come and when does it dawn on you really?
I think each one has their own journey of when it dawns on them. Some go through very traumatic incidences when it dawns on them. For me, yes, I think it's been cases where I felt very disempowered, right? Something I thought I could do, but when I couldn't do it, is when my spirituality came and
Wow.
told me that this is where it's supposed to be done. A recent example when I realized how it happens is when I went through this phase of anxiety, and I never thought I would go through. I thought I was so mentally strong
Yeah.
that, anxiety is not something that happens to me. But when I went through that phase and I felt completely disempowered, is when, it came as a biggest support for me. It was through my spirituality, it was through my various tools where I could take that power back and empower myself.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So if I were to really break it down, typically कहा जाता है ना कि दुख में सिमरन सब करे और सुख में करे ना कोई, तो is it actually about that? It is the pain, it is that those breaking down moments that take you closer to your spiritual higher conscious self. Is this the only path for human always?
Not necessary, but for people like us, like I was a control freak and you wanted to be on the driver's seat, right? I had to be told there's another way. And when
Yeah.
you give away that control and you surrender, that's when the magic happens. Life happens to you. Life happens for you.
Yeah.
You don't make it happen. We believe we make it happen, and that's what leads to a lot of stress in our life, because we feel अगर हम नहीं करेंगे तो नहीं होने वाला है.
Right.
Right? But that's not true.
हाँ, on the contrary, if you really look at it, कई बार हम कितनी कोशिश करते हैं और फिर भी
फिर भी
चीजें
नहीं
नहीं
होता.
होती हैं.
Or
True.
if you look back, Mamta,
Yeah.
all the good things that have happened in your life,
Yeah.
they've happened for you and they've happened to you. Yes, you've made the effort to continue with it,
Yeah.
but they have just happened for you.
That's right.
And there's things that you won't even have imagined yourself doing, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, in my case, I think specifically opportunities, the things just came up. Like you would not know कि ये exist करता है until it just comes upon you, and you would just get that opportunity. And I think that is what the universe's sign is, that this is meant for you. Come
Yes.
take it.
In fact, for me as well, I was preparing for my MBA when I broke my leg. I was confined to my house. My mom said, okay, you know what? You don't believe in any of this. Why don't you just try and heal yourself and see if it works? Because I hated being at home.
Wow.
So that was the quickest. I said, okay, I will try this also to get out of the home, right? I did
Oh,
healing for myself.
this was
Let me try this, right? Either way, it's a win-win for me.
Yeah.
Either I prove my mother wrong that this doesn't work,
yeah.
or I'm out of the house
Yeah.
as quickly as possible. So when I started doing my Reiki healing for myself for 21 days, and within 3-4 weeks, I was back on my feet and out of the house, it changed my perspective. It made me realize there is a world beyond our world. And that's when I fell in love with my first set of tarots. Like, I had never thought I would get into this field. I never thought I would become a healer. For me, it was all hocus pocus, like
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
would feel, right?
Yeah.
And I used to tell my mom, I don't know what to do, not interested. Tell me what I need to do, help you out. That's it.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with my tarot, and there was no looking back.
Yeah. So, quite a journey. I mean, from being a science student to now being a spiritual mentor. If you reflect back, of course, there are triggers, but what is really that has got you here? Is this still some inquiry? Is this something that you still want to prove yourself?
I think we will want to keep proving something to ourselves till the very end. And that does not stop. Because if it stops, that's the end, right?
Yeah.
I think what I'm looking at is that it's possible. Yes, it's possible to live a spiritual life and be in this world. Spirituality can be a foundation, but still you can thrive in this world, is what I'm looking at right now.
Wow. Deep and meaningful, and really a lot of power to you on that.
Thank you.
Tell me something about your fears in that case. And I'm sure, I mean, just like there are challenges that we all are faced with in pursuit of anything that we do in life, Are there things that come in your way?
Yes, of course. In fact, these it's your fears which are your building blocks and which are your learning that you have to do, right? My fears of rejection, my fears of judgment, my fear of not being safe, right? These are certain core fears that I've always had that it's taken me time to identify because most of my other fears are linked to this.
Yeah.
But it's when I'm faced with these fears, is the time when I need to be able to look into that fear, say, yes, I know I have this, but you know what? I can face it. That's when life actually up levels. So,
Yeah.
yes, challenges will come into your life. You will be faced with those fears. You don't have to run away from them. Accept that you have those fears. Look into their eyes and say, you know what? I will still live on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Give me an example.
Okay, great. I think when I started this journey, when I accepted fully that this is what I want to do throughout my life, I was like, why would anyone want to work with me? There are so many healers, there are so many tarot card readers. Like, why me?
Yeah.
There was this fear of, again, rejection here, right?
Yeah.
Even before I started, I thought I'll get rejected.
Rejected.
Right?
Yeah.
But the fact was that and your answers lie inside of you. So when I went within, I realized, yes, there are so many, 8 billion people in this world. There are like millions and billions of healers and tarot card readers. But you know what? There's certain people whom only you will work with, who will not only come for healing to you, but will heal you in the process.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow.
So prepare yourself for them.
So you would start actually inviting that energy that,
Yes.
yeah, I need healing too. And let this not only be about them, let this be about me as well.
It's a mutual thing because healers don't just heal you. What happens is when two people come together,
Yeah.
it's the energy that you create which heals both of you.
Right.
You are just the medium. You are just the medium. It's ultimately the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, that supreme power which is healing the two of you together.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But tell us the connotation, so many times, and people like us who are not on the path of healing, let's say, what really healing means. To me, it would be that, okay, there is a wound, there is a recovery, there is some sort of a patch up work that needs to be done. And mostly it is at the physical level. But the way that I understand and I listen to you, it is way beyond. So decipher it for us.
It is way, way, way beyond it. Healing is the process by which you transform your fears, your limiting beliefs, anything this disempowers you into your strength, into your empowerment. Healing is a way by which you let go of all those energetic blocks, all the limiting beliefs that you've been carrying within you, not only from this life, but from previous lives, from the generations before you.
Previous lives?
Yes, you do. You do carry them. You let go of them. You say, thank you for being there because you protected me at a certain point of time. But I've learned my lesson and I'm ready to move on. I understand people feel only when you're ill or when you're going through a physical ailment or you're going through a challenge. That's the only time people go looking for healers.
Yeah.
But healing is for everyone. Everyone should learn healing because every time you're looking to up level, the thing that is holding you back, that is what needs healing.
Needs healing.
That fear that holds you back, that fear of not sharing your gifts with people, that fear of not up leveling, that fear of rejection, that limiting belief that, am I really ready for this? So many times there are things in our life which are meant for us, are our next level, but we give up because we're so comfortable in our comfort zone. We're so comfortable being where we are, and we think, if not this, how can I do something else? What will people think that she's been doing this for so many years and now she's moved to a different field? Like for me, I was in the corporate for 10 years. I was in the leadership hiring team, right? When I moved into my work permanently, these fears did come up that what will people think, right? But the fact was, it came to a point where I realized I can no longer do that. It is no longer who I am.
Yeah.
So whether I like it or not, whether I'm ready or not, my life is calling me.
Wow. So you mean to say that actually who we are also sort of changes and evolves in the
Yes.
process?
Every second of the day you are changing. Every second, you know, of the day that you are living, you are changing. Change is the only constant that we have in our lives, and that's the only thing that scares us the most.
Yeah.
Yes, there's certain things that are meant to be a part of your life to a certain point of time. Certain habits which help you grow, but after some time they become stifling,
Yeah.
right? Your coping mechanisms, your protection systems, your guards. Yes, they're meant to protect you and they have protected you during those times. But after that, they're not serving you, they're only holding you back.
Hmm.
So they need to go and you need to move on to the next level.
Yeah.
Whether it is the same job, same city, different city, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So let's go back by being your example, because I think what you beautifully said is that things that at one point are protecting you, then they become your pattern, then they start stifling you, and then you know that beyond this there's no growth. Did you identify such patterns for yourself?
Yes,
Like,
I
how has
did.
the journey been for
Yes, I
you?
did. In fact, as I said, I discovered tarot when I was just preparing for my MBA. And I was in fact leaving home, right?
Hmm.
But I was so stuck in my head that, you know what, even though I love tarot, this is something that I do for my passion.
Yeah.
This will never become my full-time
Profession.
profession,
Yeah.
right? Career. And for so many years, I kept doing tarot on the side. I
Hmm.
did, but I pursued my career. I pursued, my HR career, my work, my MBA. Life happened, got married, had kids. Whereas that was the work that gave me joy. It made me come alive, but I just restricted it to one,
Yeah. Yeah. Side
side
hustle.
hustle that you
Yeah.
do, right? But then it took me a long time before I realized, you know what? No, this is not something I do on the side. This is what I want to do. This is what makes me come alive. Because even though I was doing well in my career, it wasn't who I was. It wasn't what made me come alive. Yes, success came. Yes, success made me happy. But that success would just go off,
Yeah.
right? But this, after every session where I'd worked with someone, helped them identify what was holding them back, helped them get those insights that they were so desperately looking for, that satisfaction stayed with me.
Wow.
And that happiness stayed with me. That upliftment of my energy, it stayed with me. And I think I started craving for it a lot more.
Okay, and that's where the identification.
Yes.
Wow, very beautiful. So, in a way, we can say that things that do immensely satisfy you could be your path to your
Yes.
purpose.
Anything that excites you at the moment, which can, and these can change. So you should
Yeah.
not even restrict yourself. Like right now, I'm in a phase where I'm moving from just being a tarot card reader to being a lot more.
Yeah.
What else? Right? And then you need to understand also that, yes, I was a tarot card reader only for 16, 17 years. But then that was no longer enough.
Yeah.
I had to grow.
Yeah.
And that
Again,
detachment,
leveling
yes,
up has
leveling
to
up, right?
has to happen. Yeah.
That detachment took time and pain because this is who I started identifying myself as the tarot card reader, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't want to let go of it. And
Yeah.
how will people see me if I'm not as a tarot card reader?
Yeah.
But that just, as soon as I accepted it, it just happened. I had people who were working with me for energy healing, I had people who were working with me for spiritual life coaching, and they just ended up coming out of the blue, like,
Yeah.
and it just went so beautiful. It's just as soon as you accept where life is taking you, it's all worked out for you. Trust
So
me.
you've recently also founded your company Amaya,
Yes.
right? Just tell us what it is. Tell us what Amaya means and what has led you to now that path and discovery.
Amaya is honestly the direct manifestation of my soul purpose.
Okay.
It's got a twofold purpose. It's my journey, my own spiritual journey, my own healing, and at the same time, it is through Amaya that I get the pleasure of working with these beautiful human beings, where we work on empowering them, where we work on breaking all those limiting beliefs, energetic blocks, anything that is holding you back from stepping into your limitless self, limitless potential.
Yeah.
Amaya itself means limitless.
Wow.
It means having no bounds,
Hmm.
unbound.
Unbounded.
Right.
Yeah. And so you are on the show, very well validated. Tell me, Manpreet, so all throughout this journey, haven't there been, biases that have come to you from outside world where people have said that, wow, great that you want to do this, but then you're not doing this, but then you're not being that, but what about being this? So how have you unfiltered it, and how have you allowed yourself?
Once, Manta, we realize all these biases are a reflection of the biases inside of us.
How?
That's when you actually move over, you get over them. Because, yes, a lot of biases did come my way. There's no doubt. And they came my way from as soon as I started doing my MBA and I was doing my tarot, right? This is all nonsense. This is hocus pocus. This doesn't work. And how will you make a career out of it? And, there is no money in this. And how will you sustain yourself
Mhm.
or anything for that matter,
Yeah.
right? Till the time it was for me, someone else saying it, it was it was not something I could overcome. But when I realized these are reflections of the limiting beliefs I have inside of me, which are being reflected.
How do you get to that point? That while is a very interesting point that you're making, but mostly that is where we all are stuck, right? Even to identify कि यार ये मेरा limiting belief है, कि ये तो मैं ही ऐसे अपने बारे में सोच रहा हूँ. So how do you, again, I mean, rooting back to it, that how do you question yourself that this is where I have limited myself? And then how do you allow yourself? Like, how do you convince yourself only that I lie beyond this?
Self awareness. What has happened is in our rush and hustle, in our everyday life, we have forgotten to take our time to connect with ourselves, connect with our heart, understand who we are, understand our fears, understand our weaknesses. Yes, we do it
Yeah.
theoretically, we have SWOT analysis,
Yeah, yeah.
but are we actually doing it at a soul level? Are we actually looking deep inside of us? No, we are not, because we are scared of what we will see. Are we really doing shadow work, which is identifying those parts of yourself that you have rejected, that you have suppressed all your life, that have been said were wrong according to the world? Have you really gotten down to having a look at them and seeing that all they need is love and acceptance and to be brought to life so that you can become whole? And that's where the magic lies.
Wow.
Once you do that, it's a process of unraveling everything that you became in order to survive in this world. So once you shed those layers one by one, you
Yeah.
start identifying who you are. And once you do that, I think that self awareness lets you know that, what this person is saying might trigger me and might hurt me, but it's somewhere inside of me which is causing me that hurt.
Yeah.
And once I deal with that person will no longer affect me.
So what in a way you would say that when we become very defensive about something, that could be a good place to start with. That we,
Yes.
okay, there is something that comes up and I start justifying or I start defending, then that is something that I'm really holding close to to my chest as a pattern or as my own belief, and I'm not open to the feedback.
You're not.
Yeah.
Tell me something. So many people say so many things to you in your life. Does
Yeah.
everything affect you?
No.
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 But there's certain things
That stay with you.
that hurt you,
Hurt you.
right?
Yeah.
Why does it hurt you? Why doesn't everything else hurt you? That's because that's your wound. That's your trigger,
Oh wow.
right? So rather than focusing on what he said, what she said, why he said it, if you focus on that trigger, identifying that trigger, you focus on healing it, you focus on removing that energetic block, right?
Yeah.
If that trigger does not exist, no matter what the other person says, it will not affect you.
Very beautifully said. So, in this context, when you talk about healing, so I get the point that that is an emotional wound, like the way
Yes.
that you explained. So, what would healing be in this case? What would it mean to heal that wound?
It's so easy that sometimes we think that's not the solution. Healing can be very, very easy. We make it complex so that people feel, oh my God, something is happening. No. All you need to do is, when somebody has said something that has triggered you, take a pause.
Yeah.
Take a pause rather than reacting. Take a pause. If you are in a space where you can calm down and have that conversation, have that conversation. If you can't, say, let me come back to you. Go back. breathe through the charge that is developing inside of you, because those emotions start
Yeah,
boiling up,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Breathe through it, deep breathe through it. Just be with yourself, feel where that energy is building up in your body, feel it, breathe through it.
Building in your body?
Yes. If you will notice, when you are angry, there is one particular part of your body which will feel slightly heavy or painful. And normally it's your chest or it's your solar plexus,
Yeah.
right? So if you just sit with that feeling, breathe through it till the time you calm down. And if you go a step further and you see what exactly hurt you or triggered you,
Yeah.
you can honestly go back and have that conversation. You know what? This is something that has triggered me, and can we work on it? Rather than going on a defensive and then going on offensive because you want to hide that trigger. It's as simple as that. But we do not even take out the time to do that for
Yeah, I
ourselves.
think time. I think we don't want to give things time.
We
We
don't.
either want to be this side of it, like okay, are we consenting to be on a same page, or we are just arch opposite and arch rival, and then we are like, okay, we don't go along with this bit, or I don't agree to you, or this is where we disagree. We usually don't want to give it time, and I think any kind of healing at that level, when we even say that okay, अगर आपको body में physical भी कोई pain है तो take rest, take time.
We
That's the
don't want to.
yeah, we
We
don't
want
want
instant gratification, instant results.
results. Yeah,
Life doesn't happen like that.
yeah.
Life doesn't happen at the speed that you want it to happen. Life happens at the speed which is right for you. There's a two different things,
Wow, very, very, very beautiful and very insightful.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you might want to resolve something with the other person, but the time is not right or the other person is not ready, and you are also not ready. Can you accept that and let go of it for the time being?
Yeah. And how do you identify you're not ready? Because you are still going in your
Yes, till the time you are
pattern.
a victim, till the time you feel like a victim, you are not ready.
Oh,
Till the time you're in the victim mentality, the blame, the shame game that you're playing, you are not ready. It's when you've calmed down, you've identified, and you've moved into a more win win kind of a place where you are okay with telling your piece and hearing what the other person has to
yeah,
say as well.
yeah,
Actually, hearing.
yeah,
Because what you will realize at the end is no person is bad. We are all coming from a place of fear. That's it.
yeah. So often, and this is really, making a lot of sense, because so often when we are either in a corporate setup, a family setup, a relationship, an authority and subordination setup, these things happen so very frequently, and the only thing or the only known zone for us is react. Just react. What did you say in return? Why did you say this? Oh, you should have said that. It's like without even putting it any thought or meaning or breaking it down or deciphering. I think we as humans have become very impatient, is what we can say.
We've become disconnected from ourselves. And that is where all of this comes from. We would rather watch TV to relax.
Yeah.
We would rather scroll our screens to rather than relax. Relaxing is not that. Relaxing is,
This is actually evasion, right?
yes, this is these
being.
can be coping mechanisms. This can be numbing yourself. This can be distracting yourself. These are, yes, sometimes they are relaxing, but very few times. What is relaxation is when your body, mind, spirit is at peace. When you are not looking for answers outside, but looking for answers inside. That can also be just sitting outside and not doing anything, just looking at the nature.
Yeah.
Healing is a process by which you move from being in a reactive position to responding to life,
Okay.
right? Where you take responsibility for your own actions, your emotions, your feeling that are being generated inside of you,
Yeah.
and then you take care of them, and then you respond to what has happened. Life will throw challenges at you. Life will throw good things at you. But are you reacting or are you responding?
Yeah.
That makes the difference. And healing helps you in that.
Wow. And healing, like you said, is not necessarily the process of doing or engaging in something, but it could also be very, just stilling yourself and being in that
Stilling.
calm and peace.
Anything can
Not
be
numbing,
not
not
numbing.
numbing.
Numbing, distracting yourself from what is really giving you pain is not helpful. Whereas this, these days, this is what we do. Each
Yeah.
one of us goes back to that, right? Healing is going into that pain and listening to what it has to say. See, any physical ailment, any challenges that come in our life, they have an energetic root cause in our energy body or our physical body. There's a stuck emotion there which is causing that problem. So when you heal yourself, you release that energy
Oh,
blockage.
wow. Give me an example again. You know, this is like sounding so profound, but I don't know how when we as listeners or viewers, when we imbibe all of this knowledge and wisdom, I don't know what is the practical application of it. So next time something happens, let's say something happens between me and my child, and I typically feel that I feel very, burdened with responsibilities. Mostly I feel that, oh, please don't come to me, please resolve, please look out for answers, please have someone else to go to. How do I go back to the emotional wound, or what is that is emotionally it is triggering in me? So work with me, tell me, give me an example.
Okay. The words that stood out for me right here was burden,
Burden.
responsibility,
Hmm.
right? First thing that we would do here is take you back to your childhood. When was the first time you felt like a burden or a responsibility on someone,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
What was that incident? And now I'm not saying that the person involved is wrong. It's what you perceived which needs to be worked on.
Right.
So we go back to that incident. We heal that wound. We identify that wound which was created. The wound was that you felt like a burden or a responsibility. We go back to that. We remove that emotional charge which is there, that energy blockage that happened at that moment through various techniques. It can be through theta healing, through Reiki healing, through whatever. There are various modalities of healing these days.
Hmm.
Or even for the matter, if you just go into a meditative state, go back into that time of your life and you practice forgiveness for yourself, for the other person, you give love to yourself, inner child healing that
Hmm.
needs to be done at that moment for you as a whatever 4 3 4 year old child, right? What you have done is you have there and then removed that energy blockage. You have removed that wound which otherwise would have been passed on to generations to come.
Oh.
And you thank the other person for teaching you this lesson, that you no longer are bound to teach me this lesson. That's how you let go and you come back.
Very beautiful, Manu. But my internal conversation and dialogue with this is that I have been always independent. On the contrary, the way it is for me when someone comes seeking help, the first thing that happens to me is, oh, this can be done by yourself. Because probably I've been a lone ranger fighting it all out by myself, because both my parents were working. We were the two sisters. We never had like another male figure in the house, no brother, nothing. So it was, be it getting your bicycle repaired, to actually caring for the home, or doing normal chores in the house, or doing things by yourself, even from the age of 5 6 7 8. I've always been on the action mode and taking too much responsibility for my own.
Do you know being overly independent is also a coping mechanism?
Really.
Yes. Here we are taking on the responsibility that only I can do it. Only I will do it. And if somebody tries to help us, we shun that. We are not open to receiving. But remember, when you close your receiving to one thing, you're closing your receiving to love, to abundance, to money, to opportunities, everything. You're not closing it to one thing,
Hmm.
right? And you are not meant to be alone. You're meant to, you need to realize you are one with yourself, the nature, the universe, with everyone. You are one. And when you open yourself to receiving is when you can give gracefully and give happily. Because otherwise, what will happen is if you're only giving and not receiving,
Yeah.
you're going to deplete yourself. And this is something any overly independent woman, which honestly, even I was. I was very overly independent child, right? So much so that I was not even open to having anyone else heal me. And that was something I had to work with. No, I need to let someone heal me as well. I need to open myself to it. And the beauty of it is, Mamta, that when I started opening myself up so that somebody else could do my healing,
Yeah,
I became a better space holder for the people I
for the
worked with.
people. So as a healer, you also sort of leveled up.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Opportunities started coming because I opened up my receiving. We say we want things, but I will do it on my own. Again, that I has come into this. We need to accept and surrender that it's not the I who does it, it's the universe who does it. Very difficult in our, in our life and age, honestly,
Yeah,
very, very difficult
yeah.
because we are taught that we are the go-getters, we have to do this, we have to do this. You have to make the effort, no doubt about it. But then you need to surrender.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, as always, this show has also gone to another level, and we will continue to talk on this. I think I just need a pause and a break to imbibe it all. It's really flowing beautifully. Thank you so much. So, if you would like to invite someone who is an unstoppable human, or would just want to have a conversation with me, write to me at unboundwithmamta@gmail.com. That is unboundwithmamtaa@gmail.com. You can also follow my Instagram @Mamta Podcaster. That is MAMTAA Podcaster. Spiritual mentor, guide, life coach. I personally like to call her the modern day yogini. And she's back with us. Hi, Manu. Welcome back.
Hi, Mamta. Thank you so much.
So, as we were talking about your journey and, each of us, how we can identify and get to that leveling up in life with the help of spiritual understanding, learning, growth. Tell me, does it really play out in day to day life? Like, how do you keep on track with your spirituality every given day? How does your day start? What do you do?
I am not someone who follows routine, I'll be honest with you, right? Routines don't suit me. What is more important is to be able to do what you want to do at any time, right? So, yes, I do meditate. I do my prayers. I have my me time where I look at connecting with myself through journaling, maybe through body movement, maybe just sitting. The idea is you can make any moment spiritual just by connecting with yourself and then responding to life. That's it. That's all that is required.
Wow. So, how would it really play out? I mean, I get that you body movement, and I know that you are a dancer, but at the same time, you're such an avid reader as well. So, how do you connect those energies? कि कब पता चलता है कि यार ये अब movement का time है और ये अब काम का time है. So, how do you
You
really
need to
work on it?
first get out of your head, right? We need to understand it's our intuition with which we make decisions. Our mind helps us execute those decisions. But what do we do is we end up thinking about it a lot.
Yeah.
So when you are overthinking things and not finding solution, that's your first cue to get into your body.
Okay.
Dance it out. Do your asanas, do your yoga. Listen to how your body wants to be moved or stretched, and the answers and solutions come to you immediately.
Oh, wow.
Like just a few days back, I was feeling very stuck in life, very, very stuck. And I did not know how to get out of that situation. I had thought it through. I had done my overthinking. I had done everything that any person would do. And I just felt this tightness in my body as well. So all I did was that I did a few stretches. And while I was in those stretches, I just did a lot of deep breathing. And you won't believe, I knew my next steps. They came to me in such clarity.
Wow. So, you're saying from mind move to
your
body,
body, yes.
so that you can feed back to your mind. Oh,
Yes.
wow. That is so unique and refreshing. Wow. And then you do find solution to what
do.
next, what
Yes.
intuitively get guided to pick up things that you want to do.
And you can then do what needs to be done. Go back to your mind. But take decisions with your intuition and listen to your body.
Yeah.
It will guide you always in the right direction.
Wow. I think that's such a superpower because mostly what we do is we are actually not listening कि प्यास लगी है थोड़ी देर में पी लेंगे, लू जाना है थोड़ी देर में चले जाएंगे, भूख लगी है okay let me just binge on something unhealthy because I can put this decision off, I can eat later, or this is not my lunch time, or this is wow, this is
Connecting to your body is the first step in any healing method. Listening to your body. Are you listening to your body? Your body is demanding rest, but you're saying, no, let me stretch it out a bit. Let me work a bit more.
yeah
What you're doing is you're telling your body, I'm not going to listen to you. Then the body will, of course, react, right? That's
Yeah.
when all these physical ailments come into being. It's so simple. If you can just sit and see, am I hungry? What is it that my body wants to eat right now? What is it that my body needs right now? And just do that. Trust me, the body will support you double after that.
Yeah. I think there's just so much intelligence out there.
It
And we've
is.
not even tapped a
No,
percent into
we
it.
have not.
Yeah.
And that's all. These are small, small things that are required to become spiritual. Connect with yourself, connect with your body, connect with nature, connect with the universe. Then you can move to the level of where you can say, you know what? I am one with everyone. It is not easy to get to that level because you will
Yeah.
still think, you know what? He is he, she is she, and I am me.
Yeah.
But first, connect to your body.
Yeah. And I've often seen, what comes in the way of our, maybe if I can call it leveling up, since we have said it so many times on this particular episode, but what really comes in way of your leveling up or moving to the next level is actually you.
Yes, always. It's you who's stopping yourself, you who's limiting yourself. Yes, we might blame our relationships, our parents, our spouses, whoever you want to blame, but it's not them, it's you. And
Yeah.
once you realize that, that's your first step towards empowering because then you know you can change that.
Yeah. So tell me, this is really definitely very, very insightful. And I think I am going to definitely take this back from this show that listen to your body and let that then lead to what your mind needs to do next instead of reversing it the other way around.
Like the smallest thing that you can do in the day, and that is one thing I do, is get up in the morning, thank your body, thank each part of your body, and ask your body, what is it that I need to do today? What is it
Okay.
that you want to do today? Yes, you have your schedule lined up, do that, but make sure you do that one thing your body is asked you to do.
Okay.
That's it.
That's a sweet and very workable thing
Yeah.
that we can do as a part of our life. So tell me, what about I'm just directly coming to a part which we did not address, which is about judgments. Like you said, that of course there were biases and there were a lot of naysayers who came your way. How do you go past this thing, yeah, judgment, which is such a big evil or a roadblock that comes in your face anytime you want to do anything, क्योंकि लोग क्या सोचेंगे, वो क्या कहेगा, मुझे ये नहीं करना चाहिए. I'm sure you must be having your fair share of that. So how have you gone past it?
Fear of judgment is one of my biggest fears,
Okay.
right? What changed that for me was realizing, yes, people judging me was my biggest trigger. There's no doubt about that. But what changed things for me is when I realized and accepted that I judge them more. And I judge myself way, way more. So if I need to get over that fear of judgment, I need to stop judging others and myself in return.
Wow.
And once you do that, that fear no longer exists. And even if it comes up for you again, you know you are the one who is judging yourself right now. So what do I need to do about it?
Yeah. I think there's just so many moments of the ball just dropping on this episode that I'll have to keep going back in my edits to say कि अच्छा ये भी है, ये भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए, because it's really very, very enlightening. I think we miss out on that piece completely, that we are actually mostly judging ourselves much more than what the world must be doing to us.
Trust me, the world doesn't have the time to judge us. They're so caught up in their own lives.
Yeah. Or judging
Or
themselves.
judging themselves.
True.
For me, I think the one thing
True.
that changed for me, everything for me, was when I realized our world is a reflection of us.
It's actually the lens is the other way around. The way
Yes.
that we are seeing it is how it is appearing back to
Yes,
us.
that's it.
Wow. And in case of conflicts or inner dilemmas, what is your resolve? Is there any kind of a Zen moment or a Zen practice that you have, or a place where you go and put yourself and say that, okay, this is my place to retreat, and when I'll come out, I'll be, be out with a clearer lens to my situation? Do you have such mechanisms?
Yes, I do. And I must again, I had a fear of conflicts earlier, right? So I
Okay.
would avoid conflicts like no tomorrow. I would either avoid them or I would react. It took me a while to understand conflicts are necessary, right?
Hmm.
But you need to respond to them.
Okay.
So for me now, what I do is I take the pause and I take my time. Yes, I have my space in my house that I go back to, retreat to. I love to journal.
Okay.
You need to process that energy which is building up inside of you.
Hmm.
So either through journaling or through movement, or for the time when it's extreme anger that is what you're feeling, you need to allow it to move out of your body. So even if it's really hitting a pillow,
Oh.
do that, get that charge out of your body, because once you do that, then the clarity dawns as to, you know what, it was not this that was
Hmm.
the problem. There's this wound or trigger in me that got you know triggered.
Triggered again. Yeah. Yeah.
So after that, once I know that, I can go to the other person and I can have a conversation that this is what triggers me, right?
Yeah.
And what happens in this scenario is when you go with your triggers, you're not blaming the other person.
Hmm.
The other person's defenses go down automatically.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand, and it's a very well said and explained response that you've given. But in cases where it is much larger than one person, so let's say there is an issue with the family or a community or an organization, and you're like really, really resentful towards that situation, then how do you really make peace with that? Because you definitely, and sometimes the moment is lost also. You don't have the liberty to actually go back and converse it out with the other person in person, because that moment was so fleeting and everything happened in such a fleeting way. So how do you deal with those situations
What is more important is to deal with that situation with you,
with
with
you?
yourself.
Yeah.
Because once you have done that, half of the work is done. You may or may not have a conversation with the other person.
Yeah.
But if you've brought a closure to yourself, sometimes the work is done. It's not necessary that you need to have that conversation with the other person, for
Yeah.
sure. There's so many times, so many situations in our life, so many relationships in our life where the closure never happened.
Yeah.
But
See, somebody ill behaving with you in a public place, for example, or some sort of a showdown happening. आप मेट्रो में जा रहे हो, किसी ने कुछ आपको कमेंट कर दिया, कुछ, sometimes you're not able to go past that instance or that moment, and there is no another moment to it. Like, you will obviously not be
you will not go look for the
go
person.
look for that
I
person
know.
to do that. So how do you resolve it is what I wanted to.
Again, we come back. वो कुछ trigger था ना, जो trigger हुआ था.
Yeah.
And till the time the trigger is inside of you, anyone can come and press that button. Anyone can do that. So if you focus on healing that trigger, क्यों कहाँ से आया है? How did it happen? What can I do about it? Firstly, is it ready to be healed? Am I ready to let go of it? Sometimes we don't want to let go of our triggers.
Yeah. That is insight, because many times we want to just keep our
Hold on.
hurts so close to us because they are so precious, because they are giving the meaning to my hurt, my pain, my anger.
And you feel that's protecting you,
Yeah.
right?
but
That's your
it's
protection
not.
mechanism. Well, there's a time when you will realize this protection mechanism has become your prison,
Yeah.
and you will let go of it. So acceptance that right now I'm not ready to let go of it is also important,
Yeah.
and not forcing yourself.
I think we really have many notches to go up to meet that level of being the yogi or the yogini, because I think we are
Trust
still
me, I have a long way to go. I
all
have a
work
very
in-
long way to go.
work in progress. But that's really does put a lot of sense to it. But are there actual tools that you can give us, like 2,
Yes.
3, 4 things that you can tell us how to be coming out of such situations for
Yes,
ourselves?
for sure. I would firstly suggest everyone learn a form of healing, energetic healing for themselves.
Okay.
Because that will help you empower to deal with your stresses and that energy which has built up. It allows you to release that energy. If not that, there is simple things like journaling, which must become a part of our life. Just putting it down on that piece of paper gets it out of our system,
Yeah.
right? Body movement. Must. Whether you call it exercise, whether you call it dancing, whether you call it walking, whatever, that is a must. Thirdly, simple techniques like EFT, that's your tapping,
Yeah.
which can help you process that emotion at that moment, at least calm you down.
Okay.
Nothing else, deep breathing. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. Let this be a deep inhalation and deep exhalation. Do it till the time you don't calm down. Take it another notch. Inhale and with an exhale, chant Om. These are very simple steps that if we inculcate in our everyday life, we can deal with our emotions
Yeah.
and take out time to process what's building up inside of you. Do not numb it, do not distract yourself from it.
Yeah.
So have time for self-reflection at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sit down with your family, sit down with your kids to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the best thing that happened to you in the morning today? What
yeah.
is the best, what was not so great thing that happened to you?
Yeah. I think acknowledge as much as possible. Look at things in the eye and don't shy away.
Yes.
And don't shove them under the carpet or in the closet.
They don't go away anywhere.
Anywhere.
They're just storing up in your body. And that's leading to diseases and pains and stresses that we are going through right now.
Wow. This has really been going as a very eye-opening session, I must say. Coming to that, what had been some of the eureka and the eye-opening moments for you in your life that you went into that situation or that circumstance and you never came out being the same person? Like there was so much that changed for you.
The recent one was my anxiety phase for sure. I went in feeling helpless, disempowered, broken, but through the process of getting the right help, doing my own healing, I think the fact that I took on my healing into my own hands, which was empowering for me, and which is what you need at that moment, right? And to see how, when I was told it will take 3-4 months for me of therapy, almost like every week, before I could feel normal, finishing it off in 2 months. And
So
that's
you've
when I
kind of-
realized the beauty and the magic of the healing world.
Yeah.
And it's not exclusive or inclusive of anything. Anyone and everyone can do it. So that was one. Secondly, yes, realizing that when you follow your purpose, when you do everything with your heart, and when you take intuitive decisions, life just falls into place. It does.
And does that obviously make you a bit of a non-conformist too?
Yes.
You might not be falling and getting all the checks
All
in
the
place.
time. Your intuition will not make sense. Your intuition will not be logical, but it will tell you this is the right path. Take it.
Yeah.
And if you take it, trust me, there's an up level waiting for you at the next step.
Wow. I think that's what we all wanted to hear, and we always want to hear that you are right in whatever you do, but
You are. You
yeah.
know what's best for you.
best for you. Awesome. So I think with that, we are almost at the fag end of the show. And here comes a very interesting round, which is my personal favorite, which I called as a rapid reflex round. In which I would throw at you a volley of questions and not give you maybe more than a few seconds to answer it in a word or maximum a sentence. So are you ready for that?
Totally ready.
Take a deep breath and let's get started. One thing you really wish you knew at the age of 20.
That I'm enough.
One thing you would like to change about our education system today.
Introduce healing modalities into our education system.
For sure. One thing you really wish that parents never said to their children.
You should do better than that.
Your life purpose is, just complete the sentence.
Connection.
Love to you is.
Everything.
One thing that you always do as the first thing in the morning.
Check my phone. I'm being honest.
One thing which is the last thing that you do in the day.
Gratitude for everything that's happened to me.
Purpose to you is.
It brings meaning to life.
Joy to you is.
A heart full of love.
Love to you is.
Powerful.
And life to you is.
Beautiful.
Complete this sentence for me. Never have you ever.
Let go of myself.
Travel to you is.
Learning.
If not spirituality, you would.
I can't think of anything else. It has to be spirituality. Sorry.
Wow. All right. One thing that you would like to unlearn in this lifetime.
Let go of anger and resentment. You don't need that.
Okay. One book that has inspired you the most.
The Celestine Prophecy. All of them.
All right. One person who is an ideal or a role model in your life.
Honestly, my husband.
Oh,
He would be so happy to say that. I don't say that to him.
well. You've truly come unbound, Manpreet. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
sharing your joy, your purpose, and your journey with us. On the parting note, I would just like to say that life wants us to display our uniqueness and not conformity. Wish you an absolute non-conformist life ahead. May you always be on your purpose, on your journey, and keep spreading this joy all around you. And we are just so lucky and happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Mamta. I think that's one of the best wishes anyone can ever get. And it's been a pleasure, complete pleasure, and in fact, magical being here with you. And I think we should all keep unbounding with Mamta.
Let's keep unbounding.
Yes.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. And for all the episodes, you can come back to Unbound with Mamta, now available on 20 plus audio streaming platforms: Spotify, Amazon, Gaana, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you get your audio. We are also available on YouTube at the Boss Hub channel. So keep unbounding together.